Yeah, I think parkour really helps to develop a relationship between myself and everything that's around me. Because I'm navigating physically obstacles so much, I build relationships to like overcoming this obstacle. Which way should I face my hips?
I'm going that way?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming that way, but no.
Yeah. Otherwise, when I'm here, I'm wasting a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people
I did that.
afterwards.
I did that.
Now, if you're trying to add flair, that's totally cool, right? It's a little different when we're trying to be more. I want to go back on beginner's mind real quick, because I think it's super important to come in. For me, like I do a lot of practicing yoga and some breathing stuff. And it's important for me to go to those spaces and for my parkour practice, which is my foundation, see what tools I can bring back to parkour, whether it's on the coaching end or on athletic and personal practice. Yeah. Like that. Just get a little more comfortable, extend that front leg as well.
What's going on, guys? So on today's video, I talked to my personal friend, Coach Tran. He is a movement expert. He has his own gym where he teaches parkour and movement specific work in order for people to get healthy through movement. He also travels around the world just teaching and doing workshops and talks about movement, about parkour. He's a great guy and we had a nice, awesome conversation. We talked about movement, we talked about nutrition, strength, all the benefits that you can actually get through movement work and also parkour. We talked about injuries. I mean, we also put a few of the routines and the routes and the parkour work and also the mobility and stability work that we did, during our session. Basically, we had an amazing, session before we started talking and recording, so that, fired us up and put us, in a very like warmed up state in order to have a great conversation. So you're gonna find that, in the middle of the video as well. You're gonna find a couple of nuggets here and there, which they're gonna help you definitely if you're trying or if you're excited about, maybe trying parkour or maybe trying movement specific work, or if you're already a parkour practitioner and you already are in the world of movement, this is definitely something that you can find some value in it. I mean, we talked about so many things, also about mentality. I mean, just watch that video. But before you do that, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting valuable information every single day. I'm posting functional workout routines, functional nutrition advices, and my own personal habits. I mean, I'm just doing a lot of stuff in there. I'm also connecting with people and answering questions, so make sure that you follow me on Instagram. Before you start that video, click on the link below and then get back here and enjoy this awesome conversation with Coach Tran. So we're here in Enso Movement, right?
Yep.
Here in the location in Raleigh. You got a couple locations here. So you have one in Raleigh and where else?
Durham, and then we're working on some satellite sites.
Nice.
So we do programs
Awesome.
in schools,
Awesome.
through public parks, through the cities.
That's great, dude. That's great. And Tran, movement expert, as I would love to call you, dude. You've been around the world, just basically talking about movement and teaching people how to move properly, move better, and also how to like push the boundaries on their movement basically, right? Their stability, their mobility, everything that we were talking about. So, dude, can you please give people a little bit of like your story, your background? How did you ended up with like this amazing, and different locations and gyms?
Yeah. It's a long story. I'll try to keep it short. But I started track and field and cross country when I was in high school, running competitively, 3 or 4 different seasons throughout the year. And somewhere along the way, I just got tired of just running, particularly for like achieving a specific goal, whether it was hitting a certain time, hitting certain constraints during a workout. And that's kind of when I stumbled upon parkour on YouTube. And I think what's interesting about my generation early on was we just watched videos and just tried it outside and tried to copy it as best as we could, looking for different challenges, trying to scale and progress in our own different ways. And that's how I kind of fell in love with parkour. And when I started parkour, I kind of actually created a community online as well, like an online forum. And that's how we kind of started Enso. I was connecting North Carolina athletes together. We would meet, 80 of us, 100 of us, 3 or 4 times a year, exchanging knowledge, moving, training, exercising, eating. And from that passion of fostering a community and training and sharing more than anything for me, was kind of where Enso started.
And it was definitely just like a progression of everything, right? Like it wasn't like you went outside, you watched a video, went outside, and oh my god, I'm an expert in parkour. Like it was definitely, slowly practicing and connecting and learning from other people that also practice parkour. And other talents.
I wouldn't consider myself an expert at all. I still hold to this day the value of beginner's mind. So I continue to try to bring that in my life, going to dance classes, doing yoga, breath work or tai chi, or a little bit of martial arts, all of it. I try my best to have that beginner's mind for movement and for everything.
That you can improve every single time, every single session, every single day, right? I think the people try to, they think that as soon as they start something, either they're amazing at it or they don't, it doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
And I think it's, a slow, progressive, journey, basically, with every challenge that you're trying to put yourself in, whether it's martial arts, parkour, definitely, any situation. Dude, that's awesome. So you started watching videos, you started moving in, and what were those benefits that you started seeing at the beginning, especially, not only physical, of course, oh my god, I can climb this, I can climb that, but also mentally and what did change in your life basically when you started doing parkour and when you were more serious about it too, when you had dude, I'm gonna go a certain amount of times a week, I'm gonna make it a thing.
Yeah. Right? I think parkour really helps to develop a relationship between myself and everything that's around me. Because I'm navigating physically obstacles so much, I build relationships to overcoming this obstacle. And with that, I think over the past 10 years, I've really developed a relationship with Raleigh as my home. And it's given me an appreciation to visit downtown or go on a hike at Umstead, or, oh, I know this area where we can grab coffee, or same thing when I'm traveling, I love to learn about places and what makes those places unique. But also on the mental end or psychological end, I've really developed a value for self-discovery and play and fostering curiosity. Parkour isn't always about point A to point B, but for me it's really about how can I challenge myself? How can I look at something new and orientate how I move or think about something? So it's also given me the platform to be very curious.
Absolutely, no, dude. And so we went through a couple of circuits and exercises before we started recording and everything. And it's once you told me, okay, well, I'm not gonna tell you anything, do this, you know, like get to this point, that was definitely what, like, you know, trigger a lot of just not only creativity but also like fun and like a play kind of like, you know, mentality in me where I'm like, okay, now I want to see how I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but like I definitely want to. And I think that's something that we should apply on everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel that that's something that translates to, you know, where we're trying to be better at work, where we're trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to make it fun, try to make it a learning experience, try to make it, you know, as playful as possible. And especially if you're expanding your surroundings, and like you said, dude, now you have awareness of like where you are and the things that are around you that most people, you know, just like basically walk through downtown and don't do. Yeah, it's just like, oh, whatever, you know, like it's another building, another bench.
It's made me definitely look at just the outdoors in general very differently. So it's a little bit higher, so Antonio, we can actually go up to our hands in this position, almost like a dip. Stepping up, I'll have my foot flat, if not, I'll be on the ball of my foot. Stable, bring my leg through, and then down. Okay, I'm landing on one foot.
So if we go back to that sequence, then it's 1, 2.
Yep. Right. Going up to your hips. Step up with your right leg.
With 3, right?
Yep.
3.
You want a wider base, actually. So have your foot a little bit further from your hands. Yep. You're going to lean into your left hand and then bring your left leg through. Yeah. Lift your right arm up. Yeah. Good. Let's do that a couple times. Yeah, you can go back and forth. Yep, and you don't have to use the whole box. I like to have a wide base. When we do a route in a little bit, technique won't necessarily matter all the time. So know that you can play with different shapes.
Okay. Hand, right, both hands.
Yep.
Out.
Reach out. One.
Boom. And then of course this one will go. Boom, boom. And then you jump from here right to the other one.
You can take a step on the black mats. I'm not doing it from any distance. I just want you to work on different heights.
Yeah.
Because then our positions or our weight will feel a little different. Okay? The goal here though is when I exit this box, which way should I face my hips?
If I'm going that way?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming that way, but no.
Yeah. Otherwise, when I'm here, I'm wasting a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people
did that
backwards.
I did that.
Now, if you're trying to add flair, that's totally cool, right? It's a little different when we're trying to be creative. This one, I want you to work on your efficiency. Yes. Okay. Yep, so don't be too hard on yourself. The route right now is just to go over the 3 boxes or rail obstacles. You know.
It's just my little brain, like my brain likes
Technical.
What? Yes.
Yeah, because you did this.
And then my fuck.
But that's alright.
Yeah.
We're gonna fuck up. But you keep going. Good. See 2 more? I want to go back on beginner's mind real quick. Because I think it's super important to come in. For me, like I do a lot of practicing yoga and some breathing stuff. And it's important for me to go to those spaces and for my parkour practice, which is my foundation, see what tools I can bring back to parkour, whether it's on the coaching end or on athletic and personal practice. So it's the same side of curiosity. I know that I can have fears or frustration or anger come up when I don't get like this movement right. Maybe it's dancing, coordination. But I also have to ask myself why. Like, what am I gaining from this? So that I'm not always looking for something to like push me forward, but something that can give me like a different perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe some value sometimes.
And you're definitely like putting together those thoughts, right? Like 1 degree of separation, like what you say, you know, maybe like it's breath work, or maybe it's this, and you're bringing it back to the environment that you're practicing on, and like, you know, and parkour and all that stuff, we were talking about a bunch of like, you know, breath work stuff that you want to like implement and try to, you know, play with and work around. And it's like, dude, how are you bringing everything together? Because you have that, you know, beginner's mentality of like, you know what, that's something new, that's something that I don't know. Let me see what I can. Yeah. Let me see what I can like experience.
Or through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times, from an outsider's perspective, you might be rolling and you're on your back. Where am I in my everyday life or in parkour? Am I like on my back? Am I comfortable being in this position and going over and so forth?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, so, absolutely. I think like you can bring everything together. And then talking a little bit more about like and that's definitely a psychological aspect that, you know, that I think that we start from our consciousness and from our psychology and then everything else, right? So I think it's at most important that we understand, you know, the psychological benefits of, you know, everything that we do. But also the health benefits, right? Like the actual pragmatic, hey, dude, I feel better, I move better, you know, I don't wake up like with this much pain, dude, oh my God, look, I can actually reach overhead, or all that stuff that comes with, you know, parkour and movement work, basically. Like, what are some things that you saw in yourself, or that can people kind of like see when they do parkour, when they do more movement work? When
it comes to movement, definitely some strength, coordination, and balance. You know, I'm able to hold myself on a bar with one arm, two arms, upside down. Able to squat and land in different positions. Maybe I'm falling and landing on one leg, bending down and picking up groceries, being on two, getting into the car in weird positions. I've definitely had to climb through or under things, and that goes into like a freedom of movement also. You know, not only freedom in range, but also in space. So I feel it's also given me confidence in myself, how I practice as a person.
Dude, absolutely. And I think, and what you were talking about, like, hey, you know, like, you know, being able to fall properly and all that stuff, dude, most of the injuries come from falling. You know, most of people injuries comes from like falling in the wrong way, or and then, you know, maybe something rotates that shouldn't be rotating, and there's also maybe not stability, there's not strength there. So the people are trying to fall, they fall the wrong way, they get hurt, and then, you know, they spend the rest of their lives, you know, sitting down, or like just, you know, in crunches or whatever. And it's and dude, definitely, like I think people should learn, or at least me, you know, that's something that I look for. It's like, hey, you know, do I know how to fall properly? Do I have the strength? What you were saying, like, hey, I have the strength to like kind of pick up, you know, a grocery bag and stuff. It makes life a little bit easier, and you should be prepared for stuff. You know, like you should be prepared for situations where you have to get creative with your movement, where you're kind of like nothing's perfect. You know, like nothing. It's like the perfect, just, you know, boom, shoulder flexion, nothing, dude. It's weird. Stuff is gonna get weird. Stuff is gonna get bent. Stuff is gonna get, you know, sideways. So dude, definitely. So now we know the benefits, right? Like people, not only the psychological, not only the health benefit of like, hey, I'm gonna be more stable, I'm gonna be more mobile, and also being active, right? Yeah. They're being active, and of course we know that strength and moving more, basically being more active equals, you know, health, and health equals longevity, equals a better life,
happiness,
equals, right? Happiness, the hormone response as well, right? Like you want those challenges day to day, right? So like we know that it's awesome for you, that people ought to be doing it, but like where should someone start though? Like if you started with the videos, right, and you had that motivation of like, I'm gonna try this outside, but where should someone, you know, a beginner, someone that is maybe watching this and is very interested, like where should someone like just start? One, you know, right now, today, what can they do?
One exercise that they could do is glue their foot to the ground and explore with their opposite foot all of the space or the negative space around them. Maybe it means behind, maybe it's in front, maybe it's up.
Nice.
Okay. So now you can do the same thing with your hands, and it can be now with an obstacle if you feel a little more confident. I'm gonna glue my left hand. How can I move around? I can use my other hands, or feet, or limbs. Where do I find restriction in my movement, or where do I find discomfort? I feel a little uncomfortable here. I can play with that shape for a little bit. Why am I uncomfortable? I think it's my range of my shoulder. Oh, this one's a weird one also. This one also goes for me, probably range of my shoulder.
Cool.
You do that
and then figure out where you're at, right? And I love the fact that you didn't say, oh, you should go and sign up for this, that, or like, oh, you know, because you don't need anything else in yourself for movement, right? Yeah. Right, and then like kind of like figure out where you're at, or figure out if you have a limitation or something. And that's something that you can do at home. That's something that you can do anywhere.
Yes.
Anywhere, dude. I love that. I really love that answer, because again, like, it doesn't require. People tend to, and definitely me. Like, when I say people, I'm also like including myself. We tend to create, you know, excuses, and most of those excuses are, it's like perfection. Oh, no, I need a gym. I need, you know, a personal trainer. I need this, that. And if all that is not met, then I'm not able to move, you know? Yeah. And like, literally, you can move today, you can move right now, you can move like, you know, anywhere. And dude, that's awesome. And do you see, and talking about like, you know, the ranges of motions and those limitations, like, do you think, or like, what do you see the most in, like, you know, injury wise and stuff? Because some people might be, you know, some people might have, you know, pre-existing injuries, or some people might be, you know, kind of scared on, you know, or aware at least of like, well, maybe I'm not sure if I should do, you know, maybe parkour or movement work, because, you know, I might get injured.
Yeah.
So, you know, going back, is there any like injury that you've seen here, like that is the most, or as long as you keep it safe, keep it controlled?
Honestly, here at the gym,
yes,
people don't get hurt during structured classes or when they're learning skills and they're applying the skills. It's kind of when they're exploring on their own or just walking.
Yeah.
So they're tripping over something, so it's an awareness. If I had to give any skills for anyone to practice coming out of parkour, it would be falling. So
falling, always,
yeah,
right?
Always falling. Being able to be on all fours, being able to catch yourself, being in unstable positions. And this doesn't have to be practiced with obstacles. It doesn't have to be practiced with lots of space. You can practice indoors, with a chair, on a carpet. You know, you can first start off with unbalanced position, just leaning over into your right foot. Okay, you can play with your hands, play with that weight. Maybe now we can lift our left foot. Can we catch ourselves if we lose balance? You know, now we can try different positions. Maybe we have a hand on the ground. You know, can we safely fall towards our hand? I think over the age of 65 here in the U.S., every 11 seconds there's a senior that falls. That can cause wrist, elbow, shoulder, neck getting a concussion, breaking a hip, knees. Falling is probably the
most important thing. Yeah, and it goes back to those pre-existing injuries. And of course, if you're in that demographic, if you're a little bit, maybe let's just say older and stuff, you are going to be more let's just say prone to an injury if you fall, right?
Yeah.
Dude, so that's great. And if someone has an injury right now, if someone's, you know, under maybe 50s, 40s, whatever, it doesn't matter the age, but they have an injury. And they're like, I don't know if I can start, you know, maybe parkour here in Enzo, or you know, or movement, right? At all. What do you say to them? Like, hey, dude, start today. Like, what can you tell them? Is it a limitation? You know, basically, is the injury that they have a limitation in order for them to?
Injury is something that we definitely should respect, and I think that those with injuries should actually move through the injury. Let's say you had a sprain. Rice method used to be something that they used, but now they're using the meat method. So you should definitely do some movement, find those ranges. Obviously, with time and with safe progressions, and you can definitely start to add weight, start to add some force and tension. You know, work on your mobility exercises, anything from a PT or a doctor. Take time, but know that it's not, you know, I can still practice parkour, I can still practice movement with 2 sprained ankles and, and broken feet.
Yeah.
It's all about how you create space, or how you map the world with your head.
Absolutely. And I don't think, an injury should be, you know, the limitation for you to not move, you know, at all. It's like you can definitely work around it. You can find different things around it to do and move.
So hands will be together, feet apart. No different than a push-up. We don't want to have march in our position. We want our hips close to our shoulder height. As we move our hands, our feet come together. Nice. Okay. Variations. This one will be low, so we want to keep our hips below our knees. We're going to be going over. When you get a little bit better, extend your legs. Okay, all the way down. Here. Yeah. Lateral one, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And another subject that I would love to touch with you, nutrition, basically, right? So like here, you guys are very active. You guys are very, you know, again, physical. You guys are doing. I'm telling you, the movements that we did like at the beginning, they had me exhausted. Not only my muscles, but like, dude, I felt that like my connective tissue was just being, you know, like tense and like, you know what I'm saying? So it's intense. We were talking about intensity also, and it's intense in its own way. Right, in its own specific, you know, ways and realm. But you guys are very active. You guys are burning through a lot of energy. You guys have, you know, jumping around and all that stuff. Like, do you think nutrition plays a part? And you as a coach, as an instructor,
sure.
or
any mover,
people, yeah,
any mover. For all health, you know, food is medicine. Everything that you're ingesting is helping your physical, your mental, and psychological performance. You know, are we getting enough water? Are we eating enough? Are we also maybe not eating enough? Sleep. There's so many different factors to the physical performance that isn't the physical exercises themselves.
Absolutely.
There should be equally, if not more important.
Absolutely.
Particularly sleep, water, food.
Sleep, water, food. So people that want to practice movement and they want to be, you know, in parkour should be sleeping so they can recover properly, right?
Yeah.
They should be eating, you know, proper dense nutritional dense foods and definitely the sources. I think, you know, like it's good to have also good sources, you know, and quality sources, basically. You know,
not packaged food. You know, a simple tip could be to, let's say, to walk the perimeter of the grocery store.
Not the inner like aisles and of the grocery store. You know, staying on the outside, basically.
Fresh fruits,
fresh food, absolutely,
vegetables,
absolutely. And then I tell people, like, dude, I'd rather you eat a tomato, a regular tomato, whatever, it doesn't matter where it comes from, than you eating an organic canned tomato. It's like literally because you're trying to get, of course, you want to always push a little bit further, and you want to like, hey, maybe next time there's going to be a fresh, you know, farm, you know, locally farmed tomato, organic, you know, like maybe we can push it a little bit further, but like as long as you push on going natural, on finding good sources, on sleeping properly, having hydration, dude. Hydration is so important for your body. It's insane, and most people, and definitely I've been one of those people. It's like I don't even think about, you know, the water that I'm ingesting every single day. And it's
Oh, for sure. And, you know, we get caught with the ebbs and flows of life. And just to touch base back on like fresh fruits and vegetables and meat, there's like a visceral sensation to like holding a tomato versus like a packaged good. Because a packaged good, you know, if I'm tired, picking up fast food or like maybe picking up that box of Twinkies or whatever, like there's the sense of like just, I need to fulfill this hunger right now. Whereas, you know, when you can really build a relationship where for appreciation, when you're picking up food, you're cooking with it, chopping it up, and building this process or this container in your life where where
Dude,
you're fulfilling yourself.
Absolutely. I think you said something that is very important. It's a relationship, right? And everything in life, you know, comes down to what relationship do we have with that certain thing. And again, like we can talk about nutrition right now, and we can say the relationship that we have with food right now, it's a very like not a sexy relationship. Like we don't care about food as long as like it tastes well, or like our brain fires up with it, you know, like if we taste something fried or, you know, with a lot of like MSG or like whatever, like, and our brain fires up, like, oh, we like that, right? And then we have a very just basic relationship with food, you know, of like, it makes it makes my brain feel well, it makes my body feel sick, but like my brain feels, you know, all fired up, so I'm just gonna keep eating that. But if we go back to actually, you know, rebuilding that relationship, and for example, like a lot of people think, you know, they need to like weigh and measure, you know, all the food that they eat, you know, and like, oh, I need 100 grams of like carbs and, you know, and this amount of proteins and stuff. You can be flexible again of like if you have the relationship again with the food and you understand like visually, you know, what a well prepared meal looks like and the proportions, how do they look, you know, and like and it's just building that again, you know, like, oh my God, look, I know how my body feels if I eat, you know, this amount, if I eat not this amount, you know, I know if I'm tired, I probably need just maybe a little bit more food, a little more carbs, a little more of this. But it's building and that relationship. And again, with movement, we have a very just like, you know, I don't know how to even, we ignore completely. You know,
nutrition is quick and easy, but then that's also how we'll probably treat other parts of our lives. And if we can think about like cooking and like stewing, like letting it bake, like if we build a relationship with that or let that grow, like we can really let like other parts of our life kind of like when I think of like soup or stews, like things are like savory and like heavy, and that's what I want with my movement practices in terms of longevity, but also my health.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I love science, and I'm a very, you know, I try to like explain most things, you know, through science, and it's like, dude, literally, like it's a if you go back to like the molecular level of it, it's literally like those ions, you know, those cations, anions, they're disassociating and they're becoming you. So it's literally like there's an ancestral relationship with food and the food sources in it, because it's a whole process that it just is gonna keep going. It's been going for millennia before you, and it's gonna keep going. And it's like, dude, literally, you can scientifically, you know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot even ignore it in that sense. If you go like, oh, well, my life is more important than all that stuff. And it's like, no, that's your life. Like, that's literally, you know, part of like who you are, you know? Dude, but yeah, I think we touched on a lot of stuff. If there's anything else that you feel that people should know, that people, you know, maybe they need a little more motivation to like start parkour or start movement work. Do you think that there's something that they should know, or do you think you're wrapped?
Not necessarily in terms of like knowing, but I would ask the question for everyone: how do they bring play into their lives? A sense of discovery, a sense of curiosity, and personal development. You know, maybe it's through music and playing music. Maybe it's through running and, you know, exploring the outdoors. Maybe it's at work and finding creative ways to perform a specific task or get a certain job done. But I think play is what I aspire to. And how do you play in your life?
Yes, absolutely, dude. And I try to play every single day with not only like, for example, putting myself out of my comfort zone and like coming here and being a little more creative with my movement, and, you know, what you told me at the beginning, hey, okay, we'll get here without touching, you know, the floor, without touching that, and that's definitely playing. Even with the movements that that I do for my physical training, right? I try to play with it. I try to be more creative with it. And I try to play also with like, you know, my surroundings, right? Like try to do stuff that is not usually what I do, and making it a fun experience of like, you know what? Maybe I should go to the park, and maybe I should do some shadow work, right? And maybe I should do some shadow boxing, or maybe just move, or maybe just like meditate and figure this out, or put myself in a different situation, because dude, you need to play. Absolutely. I think that's awesome that you said that. I think people need to play and people need fun in order for them to like improve their lives. Dude, so where can people find you? Where can people find you on social media? Where can people come if they want to start parkour, if they want to start, you know, here with Enzo and with your coaches? Also, I want to touch a little bit more about your coaches. You were telling me that you guys change the structures here at Enzo once in a while, and you have, you know, a bunch of coaches here that also are so prepared to help people move, right? So
yeah, I think what's unique to Enzo Movement, located here in Raleigh, North Carolina, is it's a space where we can kind of modulate and change, and it's always changing. And I think that's what's cool, that we can bring our bodies to that, to be better prepared for the outdoors where things are often still. So, you know, here at the gym, I can, you know, make a box, different heights, different distances, and scale that and have infinite progressions here. The challenge and part of creativity and play is bringing that to the outdoors.
Dude, awesome, man. So you have the location here in Raleigh. Where else?
We're in Durham.
Durham?
Yep, west side of Durham. We're working on satellite sites in Cary.
Awesome. And do you have a website where people can go and find out?
People can find more information at ensomovement.com.
ensomovement.com.
Find us on Instagram, on Facebook, or you can also find me personally at Alan S. Tran on Instagram.
Alan S. Tran on Instagram. And yeah, do people ever reach out to you through Instagram and stuff? You always stay connected there and try to...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You can always reach me via Instagram.
Awesome.
Email me, alan@ensomovement.com,
Awesome.
ALAN.
Awesome.
I'm always looking forward towards opportunities to coach movement and share my values of play, creativity, self-discipline, and so forth.
Dude, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for allowing me to play with you.
Of course.
You know, like it was definitely fun. It was definitely creative. It was so challenging, man. Like it was so challenging. Like I'm telling you, my body, my whole body was on fire. So, thank you for allowing me to like come here and like, dude, give us, you know, some of your time for sure, dude. So guys, yeah, that was all for today. Stay healthy, stay strong. I'll see you guys later. Awesome, dude. Focus, dude. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, man.
Dude,
anytime.
that was fucking awesome. That was solid. That was so solid.